Good evening. We are live on Good Friday, Seb. How was your Friday? Was it good?
Well, it was better given we've got 3 points. I wouldn't say it was convincing, but 3 points is all that matters at this stage, let's be honest. So, yeah, we'll take it as a good day so far.
Average Friday, moderate Friday. We want to hear from you. I want, what do I want? What should we do this time around? We've done emojis, we've done scores out of 10. I quite like a one-word match review. Obviously, welcome any views, comments on Ipswich 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Predictions maybe for Monday against Rochdale. General thoughts, but maybe one-word match reviews. Keep them nice.
Keep them clean, please. Yeah.
Keep them clean. We're before the watershed. We don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube moderators. Seb, it's been another one of those weeks on the training ground for Paul Cook. Have you seen any noticeable improvements since Wigan, or not really?
Well, obviously, for the first time, he's decided to change formation. So I'm guessing they've been working on something different this week on the training ground. There were no reports like the previous week of players being too tired and knackered after double shifts, etc. So maybe he's starting to get a bit of his a bit of influence and a bit of what he wants to kind of do. Let's be honest, it wasn't a decent performance, but the most important thing is 3 points. We had to win probably 7 of the last 10, 1 down. A relatively, hopefully, straightforward game on Monday to come as well. So that's the positives to take from it. And we know it was not going to be a magic wand job. He's not going to be able to come in here and suddenly turn this lot into a, win 10 out of 10 and finish in 4th or 5th. We know most of these players just aren't up to it. Some of them perhaps are on the beach already. So there's going to be a big clear out in the summer, and they're going to get replaced with stats and leading information in the world of leading information in the world of transfers. We're going to revolutionise our recruitment after 15 years too late. But it was a decent 3 points. That's the most important thing, and roll on Monday.
Yeah. I mean, we won.
We won.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's the only positive from today. We won.
And there was a point in that second half, well, the end of the first half and the start of the second, where we didn't look anywhere near up to speed against Bristol Rovers on the back of 4 defeats. So to come away with the points, I guess, is a positive. Apologies, I'm playing around with my equipment off screen. There we go. So let's morning from Brisbane. Good day to Michael. I have to say, would you want to keep any of the starting 11, Seb?
I thought Bishop played quite well today. He was the one person looking to drive, be positive on the ball and look to make things happen. So Bishop, yeah, but let's be honest, of the 11 players that started today, 7, 8 of them just aren't going to be here next year. So, there's going to be a huge clear out. But for me, Bishop was the one who sort of looked half decent and looked to make things happen. So I'd have no issues with him getting another year.
Agree with that. Here come the one-word match thoughts. Dull from Edwards. Yeah, Edward, I can't disagree with that one. From Michael, I'm gonna act these and add some voices. Andrew, evening to Andrew. Discombobulated, definitely disjointed. Discombobulated, I think, is a fair one. Evening to John Dyer. Yeah.
It was better than Wigan. Let's be honest.
We've got 3 points, guys. Yeah. We've got 3 points, guys and girls.
We scored 2 goals as well. That's a rarity in itself these days, isn't it?
Rob of the Green, all one word. Noel Squeaky, definitely Squeaky. Some squeaky bum time in that second half, particularly young. Odd Toto had a few moments, didn't he?
Yeah, but then you say that as well. Holy didn't really have to make any sort of difficult saves, so it was we weren't getting battered. We just were. Unconvincing, that's the term I'd use.
Unconvincing. Yeah. Evening to Dave, typical. Lewis, shaky Cam. Evening to Eric Clacton, and one of the best names on the live streams, frustrating. John's had a second go, tentative. I think I prefer your first one. I think unconvincing. Andreas not hanging about. Poor. Yeah. Come on, Pete. Life question.
It's not that bad, surely. Come on.
Are you questioning your life choices more than anything else? Yeah. What are you going to do on a bank holiday Friday? You could be watching, what's that, Ben-Hur or something like that,
You can watch all the Bond films back to back.
Yeah, grim viewing, says Dan. But we won the match, Seb, as you keep reminding us. Shall we have a quick look of the changed system? Because I guess none of us expected it, particularly as Paul Cook has been pretty steadfast with sticking with the 4-2-3-1. He alluded to it in the press that he might go 2 up front, and it was a bit of a surprise to see it. What I would what I should have done is actually upload the squad. So let's quickly do that. But yeah, a couple of changes, Seb. The most notable, I guess, is Caden Jackson and James Norwood are starting up front.
Yeah, so he'd hinted, hasn't he? I mean, in a few of the post-match interviews for the last couple of weeks, he's hinted saying, "I really want to give them a go, but you have to dominate the ball in midfield and have flying wingers to put crosses in." And I don't think we've got that. So when the lineup came out, we all sort of saw it as a 4-4-2 initially. I think with Judge and Edwards on the wings, Wolfenden at right back, and obviously NCR and Chambers in the middle. But as it became clear, Suffolk started to mention it. I think with Brenner and Mick Mills saying it's going to be a 3 at the back, and then some Twitter stuff came out as well saying that. So I guess it's a way of getting our better players in the positions they can do more damage and still having a go at 2 up front. Lambert did it a bit last year, didn't he? In between sort of September and November time, we did 3 at the back for quite a prolonged period of time. So it lets you keep the 3 in midfield, which I guess you want to dominate the ball because none of them are great in a 2, and it allows you to have the 2 up front. But if this was an audition, let's be honest, this was an audition to keep this formation for the rest of the season. Not many of them came out with much credit, I would say.
I guess initially the worry is that left-hand side, isn't it? Which is not particularly mobile, is it?
Yeah, I mean, poor Chambers. I don't think he's he's made out to be the left-sided centre back in a back 3. It kind of reminded me Berra under Mick played there a few times and was getting beaten quite a lot. But to be fair, he's got almost no protection in front of him with Ward. Ward's not going to be able to be bombing up and bombing back to give you some extra protection. So it's not really his fault he was out of position, but that didn't work at all, that combination.
And Bristol Rovers kind of written down here as a 3-5-2. I think it was more of a 3-4-3 or it was a bit of, I've got the average positions from which I can't put on the screen annoyingly, which I'll try to get later. But Bristol Rovers are a little bit all over the place, but certainly the kind of midfield 2 of Upson and McCormick and Hanlon and a younger at top, certainly a handful, Seb.
Yeah, and I think they changed as well throughout the game a couple of times. I think they noticeably went to a back 4 after we scored the second goal. That's how I seem to see it. So I think Barton was being a bit tactical there and making a few changes that we couldn't really deal with.
Yeah,
but a great start from us, obviously.
Yeah, and let's go straight into it because I mean, there's not a huge amount of action to talk about until the ball's in the net already, isn't it? And I'm trying to think about. I can't even remember the build-up. All I can remember is the ball suddenly in the penalty area and Edwards is on it.
It looked like it should have been a penalty, shouldn't it, for Jackson? He seems to get bundled over. Edwards is doing well. Your right wing back is pretty much on the 6-yard line. He gets a bit of a lucky touch, and then their guy just sort of slices it, doesn't he, into the net. It took a minute for me to work out that it was actually a goal, and I guess it could have been a foul on Jackson to build up. But after, was it 30, 35, 36 seconds? After that, you're thinking, here we go, happy days. Let's crack on. They were looking very ropey at the back, and let's really set out our stall here and gain some confidence. I mean, we watched it on a Zoom with some friends, and we were saying, let's go and get 4, get 3, get 4, give ourselves some real confidence going into these final games of the season, and improve the goal difference, because that might be important.
And it had a feeling of the Plymouth game, didn't it? I mean, it was a really energetic start. You obviously get the goal as well, which it took a bit of time against Plymouth, didn't it? But yeah, lots of energy and lots of chances.
We were pressing well. Fitness levels seemed really good. We were dominating things. Dizelle kept dropping noticeably deep to pick the ball up off Holy, and then he was being really positive with his passing. He was picking it out to Judge on one wing, and Ward, to be fair, was bombing on, looking to get some crosses in, and it just seemed a really direct and a really positive opening. 10-15 minutes, and rewarded with the second goal.
And Judge is getting involved in quite a lot here. I mean, there's a bit of a lame shot on 5 minutes, but 10 minutes there's an effort for Judge, which is much better struck. And the goal comes, and I guess it's a bit fortuitous in that Dizelle, I think, shanks the ball out, and it falls really kindly to Judge, who kind of has a couple of goes at it, but the second
he does well, doesn't he? Yeah, Judge takes it really well. He's on his left foot, leaning back, and he, at that point, 2-0 up. What was that was that the 11th, 12th minute? I'm thinking.
10th, 11th, yeah.
Yeah, we fully deserved that for the opening period of the game. We were really positive in what we were doing. Players were getting into the box and looking to make things happen, and it was just rewards. But like you said a minute ago, it was exactly like the Plymouth game, because as soon as that goal went in, and it was the only goal in the game at the Plymouth game, things just started to bizarrely sort of drop off almost instantly.
Yeah, and I guess I'm interested to get thoughts on the chat about this, about whether there's some psychology at play here, because there's two moments for me. This is the first where Dazelle and I don't know if there's cross wires, but Dazelle and Chambers, but it's really clumsy from Dazelle, and he concedes possession in the worst possible place under pressure from two Bristol Rovers players. But Seb, it's a really nicely taken goal. Why Holy's so far off his line, I'm not so sure, but then I've got an agenda against before you say it and anyone else in the comments. But really neat finish, wasn't it, from McCormick?
It was, yeah. Did you say he's on loan from Chelsea? So he's got that. Got that technique, hasn't he? And
in 2 nuggets on Luke McCormick, on loan from Chelsea. 3 nuggets for you, in fact. Scored goal of the month in League One in January, not Scott Twine against us, by the way. It was a free kick against Crewe, but born in Bury St Edmunds. So I'm sure he would have enjoyed scoring that goal. I think he joined Chelsea's academy at the age of 6 or something stupid like that. So it's not like he's one that's kind of fallen through the net or what have you. But yeah, you could tell that he was a class player, and he kept cropping up in those kind of central midfield positions, didn't he, Seb? And him and Upson, I thought, got on the end of quite a lot of chances for them. And that's the kind of polar opposite to our midfield, who, you know, there's passing and there's sometimes creative runs from Bishop to open up things, but don't get a huge amount of efforts and goal from our central midfielders around the opposition box, do you? And they were keen to do that.
No, yeah, I mean they noticeably after that goal as well, they just started to dominate the centre of the pitch, didn't they? I mean, we know a little bit about Ed Upson, but the midfield of Bristol Rovers really started to take charge, and what we never do as well is a few times they had people arriving late, didn't they, in the box? I guess with Nolan out, you sort of lose. He's probably our player that would do that, but that's something we never do. Our midfield, let's be honest, don't offer much of a goal threat at all, and they did noticeably go into their shell, especially Dazelle went into his shell after that mistake for the goal.
He did. We kind of noticed that he wasn't offering as much as the ball as he had been at the start.
Yeah, stopped dropping deep, didn't he? He wasn't picking the ball up off Holy, and there were times when he was just noticeably, you know, wanting 5 minutes to kind of reset himself, I guess.
And as you said, I mean, the problem I've got with our midfield and maybe some of our defensive organisation, because this formation, let's not pretend that it was kind of a seamless transition into this 3 at the back. There was some uncomfortable moments. We'll talk about a few more, but we just seemed to be drawn towards the ball and then left in plenty of space. The kind of midfield third, to me, I thought Bristol Rovers, for the most part, were much more energetic and dynamic compared to us, whereas again, this is Bristol Rovers who have lost 4 bouts, so marred in relegation trouble. You know, you'd expect Joey Barton to get them up for it, because he, you know, I'm sure he likes now his record against us is. What was it? Fleetwood, I guess.
Yeah, he won one, lost one.
Lost one. So,
but he made the big deal, didn't he, last year about saying, you know, this is the worst Ipswich side for 50 years, etc. So,
get your dig in, Joey.
And he was talking about the celebration, wasn't he? And the hand holding at the end of the game. He was saying, you know, you shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff.
Well,
so he's right. He's not wrong. Let's be honest. Yeah, he's not wrong. Let's be honest. But yeah, they noticeably dominated the ball for the rest of that half, and I was quite thankful when half time arrived, because. Well, there was the Holy incident, one that I guess you're.
I was going to say, so there's a few dodgy moments here. I mean, Mick Mills claimed this was Chambers. Again, I wasn't paying attention in the build-up, but I think Chambers lets the ball drop. And is it Ayunga who's in and kind of gets body checked by Holy? NCL is covering. Referee pretty quick to pull out a yellow card, but Bristol Rovers pretty adamant this could have been a sending off. I'm not sure what they were claiming for, denying a obvious goal scoring opportunity. It wasn't really dangerous play, was it?
No, it's not dangerous. He's not handballed it, and there was NCR covering in the middle. So, you know, if the guy had still got to do a little bit to score, because the ball is naturally taken in wide anyway. So I don't think it was it wasn't a red card, but it was you know, a bad decision from Holy to rush out like that.
McCormick has an effort just outside the edge of the area. Blaze is well over there. There's a moment for Town when Chambers nearly flicks on for this is an effort for them where he nearly plays in a handling, but I think just nearly gets away with it. 29 Seb, this is a big moment for Ipswich. Free kick, great delivery for once.
Really good.
On the set pieces. The free kicks were much better this week. Corner's still pretty crap. Lovely ball from Judge, I think it is, right down the corridor, #corridor of uncertainty in Norwoods. I mean, it's right in front of him, isn't it? I guess it's right in close to his body, so I'm not sure he can get his feet in the way, but you kind of I don't know what do you lunge at it?
He sort of gets stuck a little bit under his feet, and he's got to connect properly and got to score that. If that goes in 3-1 after you've weathered the little bit of the storm, then the game, I guess, could be completely different. But you want that kind of chance to fall to that man in the 6-yard box, and unfortunately, that one he just scuffs it, doesn't he?
37 said McCormick really. This is a really firmly struck kind of half volley shot, isn't it? That is just wide of Hiley's post. He's rooted to the spot.
But
really
again, that one. Sorry, going back to that one. That is them arrive. That's them midfield arriving late, wasn't it? In the box, there was no one near him. Holy just looked at it as it went past the post. That's the thing we don't do. We don't get our midfield runners like that. And also, when we're playing a side like this, we don't track those runners, do we? That's where I guess if you had a Downs or a Scouse in the side, potentially maybe they might make that run with him. But Dazelle and Bishop just left the guy to get that shot off, and in reality, that should have been 2-2. That was a big chance for them.
Yeah. Evening to the Facebook crew, by the way. Bars Barley, we see you. Thank you for the like. Give us a like. Let us know you were there. We'll come back to the comments, obviously, and kick off the discussion. We'll go through the main points of the match and then come back. But Bristol Rovers ended the first half really well. There's a few chances here. The big one for me, there's one for a younger, which is really easy for Holy. 44 minutes though. I think is it Zane Walker? I think it is. I'm trying to get my names right here. Let's have a quick butchers at this. Yeah, on the right, has 3 players over to his left that he should play, and he tries the shot instead, and it's pretty tame in the end. And that's half time, Seb. And as we said, really energetic, excellent first 15 from Ipswich. Concede the goal, heads drop, energies drop.
Yeah.
And as I said at the start, is this now a mental thing or?
Well, we've been saying for months, haven't we? As soon as we concede a goal, we're normally, the confidence just drips away. And that was the same today, even though we were 2-0 up at the time. As soon as that goal went in, the intensity dropped, the desire dropped, the pressing, the basic things, the fitness, the running around, everything just sort of seemed to grind to a halt. So we know this squad is mentally weak. It's nothing new. We've been saying it for ages. But Cook is going to have to find out, or just do the simple thing and replace them all with players who just don't, stronger mental fortitude is definitely needed, because anytime we concede a goal, it completely changes the outcome of games.
Yeah, and that set us on a path for the end of the first half into the second that continued. Injury worries again. Seb Norwood is subbed at half time.
Yeah, concerning. I mean, he didn't really do much, let's be honest, in the first half. So no. I'm not sure exactly. We don't know what it is, obviously. I didn't notice him hobbling around at all or going down at any point in the first half. So hopefully it's just precautionary. Drinnan came on. I thought that was a bit strange. I guess you want him to maybe hold the ball up a little bit and look to use Jackson. But I thought having Parrott on the bench, but then you made the point on our watch along that Parrott obviously had he didn't play 3 times. He's been travelling and had international stuff in the week. So maybe Drinnan gives you that extra little bit of press and bustle and holding the ball up. But I think, a concern that Norwood is potentially facing a spell out again, especially because, he's the only one that really, really looks like scoring goals on a regular basis for us.
And he's joining Kane Vincent-Young, who we've not heard of since last week as well.
Yeah, concerning that one as well.
And just a quick thought on Jackson and Norwood. It didn't really work, did it?
No, not at all. But the annoying thing is we don't use Jackson properly in a 4-4-2 either, in a 2-man up front either, do we? With Jackson's pace, surely you want him on the shoulder of the last defender, ready to receive the through balls from Dazelle, that kind of thing. It's something we never do. Jackson was noticeably dropping deep in the first half to pick the ball up. He makes his runs into the channel, but I still don't feel like we properly utilise him how we should, given his pace. But the partnership just wasn't there for the first half between the two of them, was it?
Let's skip through the second half action because there's not much really happening, not much to talk about, and I want to get onto the comments as well. 47, Toto has his first stumble of the afternoon. We'd been remarking that he looked really solid and really competent, and his head kind of seemed to drop a little bit. Young, unfortunately, can't make the most of it. Upson has a shot from range. Judge is fouled. The free kick is kind of near to Nsiala, but it drops to Edwards, who kind of has a shot that's over. 55, Joey Barton should be booked. The referee has a good 1-minute conversation, which had started at half time as they walked out together, and really the referee should have just booked him. Corners, rubbish I've written down here. The free kicks was moderately better, but the corners were still pretty lousy, and you're looking for Enciala to get on the end of one, aren't you? You need to put some money on this. But
we had three centre halves. You've got Wolfenden, Enciala, and Chambers, all who go forward for the corner. So you've got some decent height in there, but the delivery is just so poor. There was the one time when we worked out that we couldn't beat the first man was when Chambers sort of came across the span and got the back header onto the roof of the net. But the delivery from corners is just so poor. We had that weird phase in, was it February, January time, where we're 5 in a row, 5 of our goals came from set pieces, and then since then we've just regressed to the type, haven't we? We're just rubbish at them.
Yeah, no different to last week. 60 minutes. Bishop is the only man making something happen for Ipswich. Kind of bursts into the penalty area, cuts it back. There's none really showing the same endeavour to try to get on the end of it, and it's blocked away. Chambers having a torrid time with Iunga. Who tees up Upson, who has a shot from the edge. Keep mentioning these shots from the edge of the area from their midfielders. 66 Parrott for Jackson. It's not really a surprise. Jackson had a kind of an early flourish and partial involvement with the goal, but didn't, as you said, didn't really contribute a huge amount. Either couldn't or didn't. And then Drinan has this weird kind of 10-minute spell, Seb, where he's kind of jumping with his elbows out, isn't he, and gets a yellow card. And then a bit later on, he's given the referee a decision to make, really.
Well, that one was head, wasn't it? I mean, on the first replay, it did look like he was possibly going to go because, when you get the one view at it, it looks like he did catch him again. When you see the replay again, it's head on head instead of elbow on head. But yeah, I mean, when you've been booked once and you've been spoken to by the ref, don't give him a reason to make a decision.
And it's lucky there's a little one off the ball as well that the referee missed towards the end.
The one at the end of the game, yeah, that was a foul. I was quite surprised he didn't go for
that. Edwards gets in behind, crosses far too late. Drinan's in all kinds. I keep flipping between Drinan and Drinan, by the way. I'm just kind of covering my bases there. An early ball there from Edwards, and I think Drinan's got a tap in. See how reverted straight back. 71. Parrott has a kind of a header at the far post, but he fouls his man. I made one note here. Zuma comes on for Bristol Rovers. He looks like a League One Jordan Shaqiri. I thought he was squat and square, and I thought it was
tiny, wasn't he? Tiny.
Handon and Chambers kind of still battling here, and Handon is generally having the most of it. 75 minutes said we kind of revert to a kind of a 4-4-2, a very narrow 4-4-2, which kind of had the sense of containment mode. And to be fair, Bristol Rovers starting to run out of gas a little bit.
There it is.
Write that one down. I was going to let you have it, but I'm reading the script, so that's fine. But Bristol Rovers did kind of start to stutter a little bit and fall away from the match. They kind of had most of the ball. I will have a look at the possession stats in a bit, but about 75 minutes, 80 minutes, they didn't really have a huge amount, a few kind of sides here and there on the break, but not too much.
I think it was to protect, wasn't it? It was mostly to protect Chambers. A few times they got in one-on-one with him and he couldn't keep up with the pace. So, I'm guessing Cook decided stick Ward back, bit of protection, put Edwards in front of him because he's naturally going to give you more protection than Judge on the other wing. And like you say, after that they were faced with 2 rows of 4, and it just saw the game out, didn't it?
Petered out. And to be fair, Ipswich had been pretty lethargic for most of the second half, and this kind of works in our favour at least. We're not chasing the game or the high press.
It doesn't sound like we've won, does it? I keep trying to remind myself we actually won this game 2-1. But when we go through it like that, it makes it sound like it's another uninspiring draw or defeat.
I mean, it's a professional performance in respect of keeping Bristol Rovers at bay, but my issue is the opposition, really, and
yeah.
I guess
if it's a narrow 2-1 win against somebody in the chasing pack or in the play, if we do this against Charlton 2-1, that's a very different 2-1 to a side that hasn't won in 4 games and was awful for the first 10-15 minutes. It would make things very, very different. Like you say, the opposition put it all into context, don't they?
Yep. 84 minutes. Toto again turned by Iunga and just does enough. Although there's a few moments where you think he's going to give away a penalty or something, just about gets away with it. Some late subs, some time-wasting subs. But Harrop comes on for Bishop. We think might be an injury.
Yeah, that's a concern, isn't it? He was down, and that's a big worry because the game being so close on Monday. Obviously, that's a big worry. If him and Norwood out the side on Monday, you've already lost Kane Vincent-Young. That would be a real concern.
And then we mentioned the kind of late lunge by Drinan off the ball. Parrott picks up the ball and pretty good effort, actually. Just wide.
Did well to get out of his feet and cut inside. It flies wide, but the build-up play with it from him was quite impressive.
And that's your lot. Let me just see if I can get the stats on the screen, Seb. Are you feeling any more optimistic for Rochdale,
Look,
or
the most important thing, as Paul Cook said in the pre-match, the most important thing was 6 points for this Easter weekend, wasn't it? We've got 3 points, we've won. Was it great? No. Were there a lot of issues with that performance? Undoubtedly. But we've got the first 3 points on the board. We have to win probably 7 of these last 10 games, 1 down. Let's get some momentum and beat Rochdale and then see where we stand after that.
I'm trying to zoom in on this. This is the kind of momentum chart, which I do love on SofaScore. Shout out to SofaScore, which I think is a pretty fair reflection of the match. It kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit, but you can clearly see this kind of chunk here of time from probably about 37 minutes where Bristol Rovers, it was pretty relentless from them. And I guess they'd be pretty disappointed that they didn't manage to convert that into any chances. If I scroll down,
sorry, just flick back up the possession. Yeah, sorry, you're on the possession. Don't worry, go down.
Easy. I'm in charge.
Sorry.
So here's the possession stats: 44 to 56. I guess at this point, do we care much about possession?
No, it doesn't matter. All that matters is the 3 points. It doesn't matter how you do it, does it? Let's be honest. Today's been poor. We haven't played well, but we've got 3 points.
13 to 14 shots in total, only 3 on target. Quite a few block shots, quite a lot of corners, not really doing much with those. Shots inside the box, 7 to 6. I mean, this gives a reflection of the game was kind of pretty even. And I think that's
which
probably
it was,
fair enough.
If we'd have sat here, it was 2-2. If that chance in the first half goes in from them, we finished the game 2-2. We couldn't have any complaints. Let's be honest, could we? It was a very even game. We just got lucky at the end of the day.
But we, as you said,
but it's 3 points. We've won. We've won. Yeah, we've won. It's 3 points. We move on to Rochdale. See what we do there. If we win that one, suddenly you've won. 2 out of 2, and hopefully some confidence might eep through, and we might see a real difference going into the final 6, 7 or 8.
Let's go back to the comments. Here's Barles. It's a win. Come on, Cookie, drag our sorry ass into the playoffs. Here. Although,
I mean, the worry is if we do finish 6th and we're playing a Peterborough and a Sunderland, they're not going to fear much across 2 legs against us. Let's be honest. But
don't you wouldn't say no if you were offered it, would you? But
no, of course not.
It is a little bit of worry how we might how we might get on. And this is Liam. Just happy they got the 3 points after recent performance. I think that is the stance you're taking, isn't it, Seb?
Absolutely, yeah, too right. I mean, the Wigan game was awful. It was important today, just no matter how, get the 3 points.
Own goals coming to the rescue again, Cornish round. I mean, Judge's goal was legit, wasn't it? Evening to Rando. Team is so unfit.
Yes, that's really noticeable at the moment, isn't it? Yeah, they just look absolutely knackered. We've got the individual issues with certain players, but the whole team just looks absolutely knackered. We still haven't replaced Jim Henry, have we?
No.
He's just on Zoom on gardening leave. We still haven't got anybody else in. So brilliant.
As per kind of Leo Neal's, the club's stats recruitment bloody article thingy. It's kind of, the summer's going to be great, guys. The summer is going to be, you're going to love it. The things we've got in mind. If you like stats, you're going to love what we've got in mind for you. Running in some ads. Rando. James making some important points about Hawkins came in last week. Nowhere to be seen. Jackson looks so low on confidence, but why? I mean, is your view that we're just not utilising Jackson? I mean,
I don't think so.
Would you play with confidence if you knew that you kind of can play off the shoulder, get in behind? I mean, Jackson's not an instinctive finisher, but he scored a few decent goals, all types of goals really in his first couple of seasons. He just doesn't get any service, does he?
Nothing at all. And like I said earlier, I don't think we utilise him properly. With his pace, you want him on the shoulder of the last man 2 or 3 times a game. Hopefully, Dizelle tries a through ball. He gets on the end of it and he gets his shot off early. We just don't do that with him in the side. So it's no wonder. Has he scored? He's got 1 goal this year, hasn't he, against Plymouth away? So naturally, that's going to be in the back of his mind. But we just don't create any chances for him.
Rob, nobody joining things together in midfield. A la Kante, yeah. We need a League One Kante. Ed Upson more. I thought Ed Upson had a good game for them.
Well.
Luke McCormick. Yeah. And we mentioned Dizelle, shaky afternoon for him. He really, that early setback, he didn't recover from it, did he? And
no, but he was so positive for the first 10, 15 minutes as well. Noticeably making things happen, pinging the balls around with purpose. And it was really concerning that as soon as he made that mistake, he just became a a shadow of himself for the remaining 80 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah. Box, I can smell a late automatic promotion push. I don't know where you are, Box.
I'm not sure what you're drinking on Good Friday.
I'm smelling something a little bit different to that. Here we go. Here's Stubbsy. I could smell something, but it is the phrase. There we go. Thanks, Stubbsy. I nicked your line there. David Rowe, who is playing for the shirt. Not even Chambers had a tough afternoon, left centre back. I mean, not a natural position for him, is it?
No, I mean, I felt sorry for him being out there, but it didn't work for him at all, did it? I'm not sure we'll see that again. Like I said, if it was an audition for a performance to stick with two up front, I don't think anybody came out with real sort of credit from it. So I'm not sure we'll see it again. If we do, I hope Chambers isn't the left-hand side of those ones.
Yeah, would you expect the three at the back again on Monday?
Well, it'll depend on Norwood, won't it? I guess if Norwood is out and can't play, then it'll be Jackson up front on his own, because Drinnan doesn't really offer you much of a goal threat. Hawkins, is he injured again? Potentially, maybe. So I guess we might see a revert to the 4-2-3-1 with Chambers in.
Oh, I've lost Seb. I'm going to keep going. Upson looked neat and tidy. Certainly agree with that. Box. Norwich 4. Is that right? Can someone confirm this is right? Because I think Norwich have drawn their last 2 games, but I guess that would make sense. 4 points dropped in 2 games. This is anyone seen Wayne's World? There's a bit where Garth is left on the camera and looks all kind of nervous and scared. And this is exactly it. This is kind of the worst case scenario, albeit if it was me hosting and my internet dropped out, then I think we might have a problem. What I will do is I'm going to remove Seb from the stream, so it's just that's even worse. There we go. I'll add a black square back instead. Yeah, Rob, Rovers first every ball, first 20 minutes. I mean that was the case throughout most of the game, and now StreamYard. This is I'm going to do my Garth moment. Is this right, John? 2 assists for Dazelle? I'm not sure. I guess the second one is a little bit tenuous. I'm not sure he meant it, John, but I'll take it. Neil, our goal difference is very poor compared to teams in 4th to 6th. Lincoln to Blackpool, no way we'll make it up, and it could be costly. I don't know whether about you guys, there was a sense, we said at the start, that you're going to get 2 goals in pretty early doors, and you're hoping that you're going to then get 3 or 4, and the fact that we didn't, disappointing. But that goal difference point, if you've got something to play for, then I guess it matters, Neil, but perhaps not. Look who's back.
Apologies. Yes, God bless the internet. Isn't it wonderful? I turned around and I've got a flashing red light on the router. So many apologies. I assume you padded like the true professional that you are.
I just kept going. I don't know about you guys in the comments. Just let me know if you want me to chuck Seb back out again. Keep going. Just me and you guys. I explained the kind of. Do you remember the bit in Wayne's World where Wayne storms off the set and Garth? They come back from the advert break, and Garth is, I'm having a good time. It was just like that. Sindre, I feel really bored watching Town. I just have to point out that Toto was a huge liability day. Most fans will highlight the fact that Chamo struggled. I thought Toto just had 2 moments to me. Yeah, I wasn't too down on him, apart from his lack of goal threat, Seb.
This is an in-joke, because I think that NCR is going to score every game from a corner, and one day it will happen, but at the moment it's not looking likely, let's be honest. No, you know what you get from Toto. He does the basics well. He'll head it and he'll clear it, but if he has to think about anything, that's when he can sometimes play himself into a little bit of trouble. And as we saw a couple of times, you're sort of watching, he's chasing somebody back into the penalty area, and I'd imagine 99% of Town fans are sat there thinking, oh, here we go. But to be fair, he's done all right recently, and hopefully under Cook he'll gain a bit of confidence and keep doing the basics well.
And in the kind of same way that we're saying, this 2-1 it's a win. A win's a win. Toto didn't concede a stupid penalty in those 2 situations where maybe a few months ago he would have. So take the positives. Adam, evening to Adam. Team mentality and confidence has been shot for seasons. You can coach them all you like, but you can't hold their hands on the pitch. Clear out needed, still take the 3 points. I think that's a really fair comment there.
Absolutely.
Adam summed up a lot of stuff there. Alec. How did front 2 work out? Not great, Alec. Goals from deflections and goals from midfielders should tell you everything you need to know. Evening to Kev, East Midlands mate Kev. After clear out is the second job that Paul Cook should be doing is getting Liam Richardson as number 2.
I think
goalkeeper,
so, yeah.
There's chat of rumours of goalkeeper coach, fitness
surely
coach.
A fitness coach is the priority, let's be honest. Look how knackered they all are. There are rumours, aren't there, on Twitter that he's going to look to bring in pretty much the whole of the Wigan back office team, the recruitment team, the assistant manager will hopefully rejoin him. I think he'll know what he wants to do, and I think he'll act pretty decisively when the season finishes. I don't think he'll mess around. I think we'll have new appointments within days of the season being over.
Yeah, and it feels like some of the contract news that we're expecting is to be announced quite soon as well.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds, doesn't it? Thomas is gone, and Hughes, it sounds like, is gone. So I think they'll start to announce some early departures before the main retained list is sent out. Don't they have? There's a certain date, isn't there, where they have to trigger certain the ones that have got options have to be done by a certain date, I think. Okay. So I guess when that date ticks past, we'll know exactly what the state of play is.
We'll know where we stand. Neil, it doesn't feel like we actually won. We did win, Neil.
Yeah.
And maybe it's our fault. Maybe it's my fault. We won. I'll put the league table up in a minute, and it's not looking too bad. So, yeah. And as Bits are saying, Wycombe managed to ride their luck virtually all last season, then COVID came the right time as they were dipping. If they can go up, then Ipswich can ride their luck. Luck is all we need. Luck is our 12th man. Luck is all you need. I'm doing my Ben impression now, aren't I? Oh, here we go. Barles getting me in trouble. We need another keeper. How about ex-Barnsley Adam Davis? Really rated him. Thoughts on the goalkeeper, Seb? Is that one of your big issues for the summer?
It's not. Well, it's. I guess it's a priority in terms of I don't think Holy or Cornell are good enough. But the fact they've both got another year on their contract would suggest that it's not going to be the easiest thing to solve. I'm not sure anyone's going to come in and look to take them. So I guess it will depend how Cook wants to play. If he's looking to maybe play out from the back, then we need a change. Obviously, you've got your personal agenda against Thomas Holy. So, you'll be beating the drum for him to be released or sold pretty soon. But for me, I think personally that the goals and the creativity are much more pressing than those two.
I mean, that's just a reminder to Seb, everyone, that who's in control of the stream. There we go. I'll let you come back. Just to remind you who's in charge here. You get those digs in. Robin's not standing for much here. Jackson needs to leave. He needs a team built around him, and it isn't good. I kind of feel really sorry for Jackson. Jackson strikes me, and I'm probably going to be wrong, as one of these players that will leave Ipswich and probably do quite well.
Else, yeah. I mean, with hindsight, we should have taken the what was it, 1.5, 1.7 million from Bournemouth in the summer. Whatever that bid was, that should have been snapped up and reinvested in the side. Obviously, we didn't for whatever reasons, but he's not looked the same player. But I like you, I get the impression if he goes somewhere else, he'll do okay for himself because he's got that one thing that you can't coach, pace. We don't utilise it properly, but I think if you get him in a proper side and play him in the right way with decent service, I think he'd do okay.
Yeah, and I think he's a really good option as an impact sub as well, maybe. But yeah, it's not his fault. He's in a crap team that can't create chances
and don't play him properly.
But I can kind of get the frustration because there's been big money spent on him. Blame Paul Hurst if you're going to blame anyone. His Bits, statistics now the new recruitment tool. Does that mean Joe Fairs will be employed for his knowledge of Football Manager? Joe's role for Football Manager is just scoring Ipswich players, though. So I'm not sure he's going to be. It's other. Every club has got a scout, so maybe Joe's got the inside track on who's good on Football Manager. Evening to Andy, a win's a win, whatever we look at it. Yeah, bring the positivity. Yeah. Let's have some positivity, folks. Let's it's a bank holiday weekend, long weekend. 3 points, sun's out at least in the Midlands. So
yeah, up north as well. And let's be honest, given the results above us, it was an important win today because if we'd have dropped points today, things would have started to look really, really bad.
Dave giving us the inside track from Cook's post-match. Great 10 minutes, then a terrible 80. I think that pretty much sums it up. The good thing about Paul Cook, and we've mentioned this a few times, is he doesn't whitewash stuff. When he answers a question and he's kind of slopey shouldering and deflecting a few questions, which, to be fair, I guess you'd expect him to on some of these topics. You generally get the truth from him. He doesn't doesn't try to lie or pull the wool over your eyes. It wasn't, couldn't have asked for any more, blah, blah, blah. He
doesn't treat us like idiots, does he, like the previous manager did, where he's coming out every week saying, playing really well, etc. I like that about him. He's very, very honest.
Bits, cannot wait for Blue Monday 24/7, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, you can still find the advert for that. If you guys want to, we need to do maybe a crowd sourced or one of those.
I need better internet as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
To make that happen.
24/7. Well, yeah, we just have a studio, Seb. So I hope everyone enjoyed that video that we covered together for yesterday. What was yesterday? The 1st of April, it was, wasn't it? Biles is Royce ready for a loan. We need this attacking threat. How old is Royce now? He's probably 42, is he?
I'd still, would you not, for his set pieces alone, you'd have him, surely.
Do a job.
Just for corners and free kicks.
There you go, Seb. Love the new Richard. Yeah, keep those comments coming in. They'll always get posted on here. Michael, good observation, which I haven't had for a while. Town defenders let the ball bounce so many times instead of heading the ball away. Yeah, Chambers and Enciala, I think, both had moments like this, which is factually correct. What was your thoughts on Wolfenden today? He didn't really...
Just anonymous, really, wasn't he?
Didn't really do much right or wrong, did he?
No, I kind of forgot he was playing at one point. He wasn't really involved that much. Dizelle was the one dropping deep to pick the ball up off Holy, so he wasn't even doing the passing out from the back. He was just sort of there, but didn't do anything wrong, didn't do anything great, just was there as a body, I guess. I'm not sure he's a right back, though. I guess if Vincent Young is going to be out for the season, is Chambers surely better to maybe move back to that position? Because Wolfenden, for me, doesn't look... I know he did it at Swindon, he's done it for us in the past, but for me, we went to the 4-4-2. Maybe it was tactical, but he noticeably wasn't looking to get forward much. And
you still got the mobility thing. Wolfenden Young should be a bit fitter and therefore probably a bit quicker, but he doesn't really offer a huge amount of... there's a few points where he got up the pitch, but he's not kind of an attacking fullback, is he, in any sense? So
I guess Matheson is the one. If Matheson can get himself fit, he could probably get himself into the side for the remaining 10 games of the season, because he's the most natural replacement to Vincent Young, isn't he? The pace, the energy, the running, the directness. He's the natural person to come in, but we don't know what the issue is with him. He's not been seen now for probably 10 games, has he? It's just a knock, they describe it as.
Lord Ronald, evening to you, Lord Ronald. Just so frustrating not to be more potent this season. The other teams are so inconsistent and weak. I can't imagine the league being as weak next year with Sheffield Wednesday or Birmingham down. Bolton maybe back. Cambridge feel like they've got a bit of momentum about them. There's quite a few teams kind of challenging top of the league too. So
one of the big boys might not make it up, so you could still have a Hull, a Peterborough, or Sunderland down here as well. It's only going to get tougher. But don't worry, we're going to recruit with stats, and that's going to sort it.
It is. We want to hear from you predictions for Monday, either predictions for the team or predictions for the scoreline. I'll take either. Bits has come back and said thigh injury for Norwood.
That's a concern then, isn't it?
So make of that what you will. What else have we got? Robert, any news or updates on the takeover? Or is it... So we've got this extension to the...
Land registry search, yeah.
What do you make of this?
Is that not more of an admin thing, though, just to keep it going? Because it was due to expire, wasn't it? So is that just prolonging it? I mean, I guess the problem is, if we get into the playoffs, there's no. We know that when the team started doing better and got to 6th, Evans seemed to sort of maybe change his mind, and the rumours came out that it had all stalled. So, if we do well on the pitch, are we going to harm ourselves off the pitch? We just need Evans to be decisive, make the right decision, and look to move aside for the good of the club.
Yeah, well, we're back on Monday for the podcast. We'll do the kind of match review for Rochdale and do a proper pod. The guys are going to talk about the Blue Action banner, which we retweeted in their statement. So we'll drill into that a little bit more on Monday. But Seb, as I've mentioned possibly last week, there's a target now kind of on Evans' back, really.
Absolutely.
And the way that he's orchestrated this takeover, when things were looking really bleak in the winter, and a lot of people have been saying this on Twitter, the takeover suddenly looked like it was going to happen. Paul Cook comes in, and we've got that little run of form, and the takeover then starts to stall a few weeks later. And now the land registry searches are extended, as you said. Might be a coincidence. And the takeover might be back on, or he's kind of keeping the kind of irons in the fire. It just feels like he needs to make a decision, doesn't he?
But unless he's going to dramatically change his business model and his investment for this summer coming, what's the point of him holding on to us? Our natural ceiling with him is probably 15th in the Championship. Is he going to get that much more money if we go up? And let's be honest, this consortium is not looking to buy Ipswich Town Football Club, are they? They want to buy an English side and develop it. So I don't think they'll hang around too long, and they could well look to move on to somebody else. And wouldn't it be just absolutely typical us if they go and buy somebody else who then advance throughout the leagues, and we're still stuck with Evans with no prospect of a takeover in the future? He needs to be decisive, do the right thing, and step aside.
It might be that we're having technical issues. I'm getting some comments that stuff is going wrong. So we hope that you can still hear and see us. We will power through and hope for the best. I just want to, Robin, I see you and that comment. I won't put that up on the screen, but it's available in the chat if you want to go looking for it. His bars on the takeover as well. And you going to come in. We're still in League One, 5 million to spend in the division. Who would you try and sign? I mean, I guess I would start by saying I wouldn't want
You don't
5
need
million.
that. Yeah, you don't need that. Not in this league.
This summer.
Yeah, no, you don't need that in this league at all. You know, you could the amount of players that are going to be available as well on free transfers and out of contract, you could probably build the side he wants without spending too much at all. If it was fantasy football and I could attract anybody on a realistic basis, I'd quite like the Portsmouth guys. Curtis, the winger. He always plays well against us and he offers a bit of creativity and pace and goals. So I think he'd be my choice.
I think it was it was a link for this week for a winger from Scunthorpe. I forget his name. I'm gonna have to look it up very quickly.
And a striker from Scotland as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, a lot of people kind of feeling down on those kind of links, and I kind of feel like we've done the trawling the championship to bring players down from the championship. That doesn't work for me. I'd quite like squad players, proper players, pros that have proven it at League One level.
And you want the up and comers, don't you? You don't want people at the end of their but also you don't want people at the end of their career. So many times we sign a Stephen Ward, Judge has arguably been on his way down. You want that up and coming player who's really got something to prove and wants to look to move up the levels. We always seem to sign players at the wrong end of the career rather than the progressive end.
Evening to Callum. Thoughts on Rovers, Seb? I thought definitely shaky at the back, but very tidy in midfield, and two forwards that I think would put the panic in most League One defences.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. The midfield I thought was decent. We know Ed Upson from in the past, but yeah, I thought they were decent in midfield, dominated, and we're a good side. Yeah.
Shall I put it's a good prompt, Callum? Let's just have a look at the league table, and I'm hoping the technology is working because no one's telling me anything on the chat and no one's messaging me to go it's not working. So let's have a look at the league table, and probably more for the predicament that Bristol Rovers find themselves in. But always good to remind ourselves that we won today, guys. We did win today. Hopefully you can see that. Good. Where are we? There we go. So quickly look at it. Ipswich, 9th position on 58 points. 2 points off the playoffs, Seb, but having played a game more. And then
it's Blackpool's to lose, let's be honest, isn't it? They're the ones that had this crazy run of form. It's kind of theirs to lose. And I think that Charlton game is going to be a big game in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, and Nigel Adkins is coming at Charlton, and they're looking decent. They won today against Doncaster, who have fallen away since, which you kind of would expect after Darren Moore had left the club, and probably starting to look a bit of a test or a bit of a stretch for the likes of Oxford, MK Dons, Accrington, who Accrington have had a bit of a turn. But look at MK Dons, 4 wins in the bounce. Never say never for Accrington. And down the bottom, Bristol Rovers, yeah, I mean, it's 3 points from safety. Win for Northampton today, not helpful. Burton's kind of resurgence stuttered a little bit. It's looking a bit tough for Bristol Rovers. 5 defeats now in a row after today. It would be a shame to see them go down, not only because I quite like Bristol Rovers. I'm not a big fan of Joey Barton, but I know the Ipswich Town Southwest supporters group are supportive of Bristol Rovers, and it's always a potential meet-up opportunity, which if Rovers go down to League Two and Bristol City, they're obviously not going to get relegated from the champ. There's not a huge amount of Southwest interest there, but it's a tough ask for Joey Barton, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, 5 games on the bounce, and they didn't. The goal was a gift from our mistake from Dazelle. Apart from that, there weren't that many opportunities were there to really test Holy. So I guess goals are a real problem for them.
I mean, I would be going back to the question that we were asked about signings for the summer. Ayunga is a player that I quite like the look of, kind of physical, pacey, tough striker. I think that's the kind of presence we need. Him and Norwood up front would be pretty exciting to watch. So, all the best, Callum, and to Bristol Rovers. Keeping our fingers crossed that Joey Barton can pull off some kind of miracle, and hopefully, as I say, if Ipswich go to the playoffs, it's irrelevant. But maybe a nice away day for us at Bristol Rovers next season. Knock on lots of kind of wood. what else have we got in the comments just to finish off? Still want to hear your thoughts on Rochdale on Monday, predictions, lineups, and so on. Here's Gary. Come on, Gary. A match that we could have so easily have lost against the second football side. It beggars belief to why we struggle so much. Even eighth both strikers.
I guess that's even with both strikers up front, I assume.
Let's wait with bated breath for better performance against Rochdale. I mean, you have to hope. What did we say about Rochdale today? Did I give you the Rochdale score?
They lost to Pompey, didn't they?
Did they lose to Pompey? Of course they did, yeah. So, yeah, there was a win for that. They beat Lincoln a few weeks back, drew with Peterborough, and then back down to earth against. That's a rock hard run of games for them.
I'm quietly confident for Monday. I think today's performance hasn't really done too much to instill that, but I think we will win that. I'm going to go for a 1-0 personally. I think we'll dig it out there, and then hopefully things might look pretty positive going into the final 7 or the final 8.
Facebook crew, Gary, John, thank you for the likes. Keep them coming. I always give a shout to the Facebook crew because it's kind of a little bit of the forgotten part of our social media. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. In fact, what I should do, Seb, if I was any good
put the links up or something, in a rolling scrolling motion. There you go.
But I don't even know if the Facebook thing is going to show up. So there's our social media anyway. You can go and we're all over the place. Yeah, Facebook's not even on the little scroller, so I need to update that for next time around. Michael agreeing with us on so many frees for next season.
Yeah.
I don't care how many we will let go. We will beat most teams when it comes to wages, and the new ownership probably will put that money on wages. Bits, I believe that the US Takeover won't want a championship club looking for an investment, half price League One club, take them up to championship, and bingo, you've doubled your investment. Yeah, I think that's
100%. Yeah,
pretty fair. Though, Neil, you can't make money in the championship. You can get my money by promoted out of the championship, I guess. But yeah, probably if. Why would you can
attract better players, can't you? You can you get more media coverage as well. So if you can buy a side in League One, get them into the Championship, and straight away things are going to start to improve money wise, aren't they?
Neil and Bits are continuing that debate in the comments, so I believe you guys do it. Yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation there. I mean, go back to Marcus Evans. Why would you bother? Why would you hate a football club? Seems like a really stupid thing to do. Anyway, if you've got other interests, anyway. It's kind of, isn't it? It's like a heart versus head kind of decision, isn't it?
It is, but they always say, don't they? Don't buy a football club if you want to make money, because no one ever does. Sometimes it's an ego thing. Sometimes people will, like Evans, think it's a relatively quick fix to flip something. To them, it's just an asset. You can flip that asset quite quickly, like you could property or something, and make a decent chunk of profit out of it. But when it goes wrong, as unfortunately we've been the victims of, you just sit stagnant and you lose a fortune.
Callum's back. Yeah, year on from the 2-1 win at Portman Road, 4th in the league. Now heading to League Two. Mental. Yeah, a lot of upheaval and change at Bristol Rovers, which is a factor. And we've seen it post Mick McCarthy in the Championship. If there's no coherent structure and there's no continuity, then often spirals like that happen, and it's really sad to see it. But I'm sure Bristol Rovers will bounce back. They generally seem to be run okay, but
yeah, and fingers crossed. It's not too late. Hopefully, they can turn it around and get out of it, because, like you say, they're a good club.
Lord Ronald's back. Gutless wonders in urgent need of physical/fitness coach and mental. Yeah, thoughts on I think we're in desperate need of a sports psychiatrist, though. Or psychologist.
We need something.
Psychiatrist.
We need
something like that.
We need something that's gone back years, hasn't it? Let's be honest. They've always been what we call bottle jobs, I guess. We never win big games, and at the moment, one goal means our heads completely drop on the pitch. So hopefully Cook's got some ideas. Maybe he did something at Wigan, I don't know. Wigan must have been quite mentally strong, to go through the second half of last season with all the stuff around new ownership and administration hanging over them, to put that run together. They must have been very, very mentally strong, and you'd like to think that whatever tactics Cook employed there could translate here pretty quickly, hopefully. But I think it's going to require a clear out of this entire squad and bring fresh people in who've not been through 2, 3, 4, 5 years of mediocrity.
And to that point, Michael's thoughts on Monday: if Rochdale score the first goal, we're in trouble.
That's a valid point, isn't it? As soon as we score any goal in a game, it changes things completely. If it's the first goal and it comes after the 60th minute, they've won the game. Let's be honest.
So let's start to wrap things up. Again, I want to hear your predictions. Not seeing too many in the chat for Monday. Your thoughts, Seb, on what kind of formation and personnel we'll see? There's Rotland's Cave.
It will all
Dobra
depend
to start,
on.
surely.
Yeah, I'd have no issue with that. It will all depend on Norwood, won't it? That's going to come down to everything. If Norwood's fit, he might stick with it again for a 3-5-2. If he does, I think I'd prefer to see Kenlock giving Chambers some support out on the left rather than Ward. I think his natural energy will help a little bit more, but maybe he's one of these injuries that we don't know about yet. If Norwood isn't fit, I think he'll revert to the 4-2-3-1 with Jackson in the lone striker role, and maybe Hawkins will be fit enough for the bench to come off and make a bit of a difference in the second half, but it will all depend on Norwood. But I still think we'll win the game. I'm going to go for a scrappy, hard-fought 1-0.
Callum, come and join the Ipswich crew. Well, we'll have you over here. 4-0 Ipswich Norwood hat-trick. Yeah, I think Norwood might be out for that one, but we'll take it. Here they come. 1-0 own goal win, Norwood off after the goal, then we stagnate.
That's probably the most. That's the most accurate and the most likely.
John's going for a 1-1. Michael, prediction: Parrott and Dobra to start. I mean, I'd quite like to see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, you couldn't keep the 3-5-2 and start Dobra. I don't think he's not a central midfielder. But Parrott and Jackson potentially could start as a front two if he wants to keep it the same. Yeah.
Ben, surely we're due a 5-0 win.
Yeah.
I concur. And as I was saying before, when you left us, Seb, when you left me on my own, I was saying that this after 15 minutes, you kind of wanted today to be a fill your boots kind of. Yeah, we just don't have that in us, do we?
Improve the goal difference, improve the confidence, but we just don't do that, do we? Let's be honest. I mean, it takes us normally sort of 10 games to score 5 goals. Let alone 1 in 1 game. Now there you go, Thomas Holy, 90th minute header.
Callum
That'd
again.
be great. That'd be great. You'd love that as well.
I would love that. Biles is going for a 3-1 Town. I think it's going to be a 1-0.
I'm going 1-0. Yeah, 1-0 scrappy game. Maybe a goal from a defender. Nsiala 1-0. There you go, from a corner.
So, few plugs, obviously. So we'll be back on Monday. I think Ben's in the host's chair for that one. That will be the normal podcast, going through Rochdale and talking through other bits and pieces of news, including the Blue Action banner and any quotes from Cook from today and any bits and pieces of news from the week. So follow us on all the bits and pieces below to get details of that. As we mentioned a few times, we're again properly going into Wayne's World mode now. It's like people do things just because they're paid, and that's really sad. But you can get 20% off with Favourite Chicken if you're in Ipswich, or in Wolverhampton is my nearest one. I think they're kind of generally clustered around the south. Favourite Chicken, 20% off orders over £10 by entering the code BM20 at checkout. Ben and Joe and Mikey have been pretty blatant in their love for Favourite Chicken, so go give them a look. And if you want some Ipswich merch through the folks at the Terrace, who have got a good licensing agreement, some good mugs, mouse mats, dog bandanas, then use our dedicated Terrace link. I think it's let me see if I can actually find the link. That would be better, wouldn't it? Nothing in terms of discounts, I'm afraid, but a little kickback to the channel every time you use our link. I can't do that, but it's on our Twitter somewhere. Maybe worth waiting until we've got a discount link, which is pretty frequent. So that's good. Seb, where can we find you on the Twitter?
At BrownS08.
And you can go and tell Seb to go and get a better internet connection. You can find me at Ipswich. Some final. Who's Tony Robbins, Lord Ronald? I'm just a bit nervous to put that one up. Michael Warner, morning to you, Michael. 2-1 Town if we score first, a second. There we go. And that will end on some positivity. 2-1 for Town. Seb, thank you as always. Enjoy your long Easter weekend. And we'll be back on Monday. Say goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching or listening to the Blue Monday podcast. And thanks to those of you who have kindly supported the channel via Acast or YouTube donations. You can follow us at the usual places on social media, and don't forget to subscribe so that you